Hatur nuhun, matur nuwun, matur suksma, tampiasi, terima kasih. Those are some examples of Indonesian native languages. And did you know that Indonesia has about 652 native languages? That's a lot, right? And we still have responsibility to preserve them. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Danisha Frissy. I'm from Jakarta Islamic Boarding School, and today I would like to talk about the use of native language in daily life communication in order to preserve them and empower a nation. So basically, language is the most important key in this life that connect one people to another. Language helps us to express our feelings, our thoughts, and of course, to communicate. Every part of this world has its own languages. So to connect everyone in this world, we have international language. As the time passed by, the technology, the land has improved, so that society nowadays has a new lifestyle which has a lot of differences from the past. They slowly started to forgetting about their native language. They even think that it's kind of ancient. However, native language help us to connect to our ancestors, our cultures, and our family. I'm from Lombok and I couldn't speak my native language at all. At first I thought nah, it's not a big problem. It's totally fine for me if I couldn't speak my native language, since society nowadays mostly speak in Bahasa, right? But when I came to my grandparents' house, I couldn't speak with them. Whenever they wanted to speak with me, my parents must be there to translate it for me. But one day, my parents were very busy, and my grandmother started to speak to me. And all I did was just nod until she finished, because I totally had no idea what is she talking about. I don't understand even a single word. I know that's kind of embarrassing, but since that day, it opened up my mind and I started to realize that, oh, native language is really important for me. It could connect me to my ancestors, to my cultures, to my family. It helps me to relate well on land where I lived, because it contains priceless environmental knowledges about my origin, my background, and my identity. On the other hand, society nowadays slowly but surely start to forget about their native language. They started to think that it's old-fashioned, outdated, and they even feel ashamed to speak in that language. They didn't even pass it to their next generations. They didn't teach them. People start ignoring our native language, and that's really worse. Because if we still don't care about our native language, it will disappear. I know you may think nah, it's not a big problem, it's just a language, don't be panic. But the truth is, it is a really big issue. Because losing a native language means that you lose a culture. And if you lose a culture, it means you lose your country's identity. Your country will face an identity crisis. And we don't want it to be happen, right? Because native language plays an essential role in establishing our identity. Learning the native language simply means we learn the background, the history of our ancestors, of our country's origin. And if we really lose it for real, our country will face an identity crisis. We will lose our identity. We will lose ourselves. And we don't want it to be happen. So I think people need to start practicing it in daily communication life in order to preserve them, but not just at home, but also at school. And I think that government need to partner up with school in order to make it as a subject at school so that new generations, new students will be able to learn it and practicing it at home when they were playing with their friends, with their family, with their neighbors, with their relatives. And slowly people will start noticing and like, oh, it's our native language, it still exists. And if I speak in my native language, the person I speak to will reply me in the native language, right? And I think it's the easiest way to learn a native language since we heard it every day. So later we will be able to speak it, surely, possibly. So I hope that everyone here could understand well and aware to our native languages and start to preserve them. That's all from me. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.